Hey, friend. Today I just wanted to talk about how I kind of stop being irritated at some habits that Michael has. And, to be honest, it is mostly me. If you'll notice, husbands are kind of chill most of the time. They don't typically get hot and bothered about things, but us women, all the emotions all the time, we get all irritated about stuff. And I used to get on my own nerves. Being irritated over the slightest things. We've been married for over 28 years now. So in the early years, I used to be way more irritated about, like I said, little things. And then what I noticed is I would be irritated, and then that negative feeling would carry over to the next day. And then I would start counting the times that he used to do these little things. For example, leaving dirty clothes on the floor rather than putting them in the hamper. That used to just burn me to on the inside. I used to get so heated about it. And then over time, like I said, I noticed that it was affecting my mood, affecting how I was reacting towards him. And so just decided to do something about it. And so I just wanted to share a couple of tips with you, because in speaking with couples, we notice that that is also a common thing among many couples. People get irritated over just little things in life. Living with another person is challenging every single day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's normal, but what is not good is to get stuck in that mindset of um, you get the little irritations, which are molehills, begin to turn into mountains of I don't like you at all. And it started over maybe leaving the toilet seat up or not unloading the dishwasher fast enough, or like for me, leaving the dirty clothes on the floor. Any little thing can add up. And so it's important to nip these things in the bud. And so the first thing I did was realize that it was my problem, not his. It was his habit, but my emotions, my feelings over his habit was my problem. I own my own feelings, no one else. He can't make me feel a certain way. And so once I kind of understood this, and basically from reading the Bible, of course, I have this a different screen up. Let me get this. There are for we're Christian, and so for us, the Bible is our guiding book in life. That's kind of the lens that we view life through. And so, just a couple of verses, real quick. Here, Philippians 4:8. It says, "Finally, brothers, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is anything worthy of praise, think about these things." And then Romans 12:2, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind." And so the point is, God gave us the ability to control our thoughts. We can't stop certain thoughts from coming into our heads, but we can control our thoughts once they're in our heads. And dwelling on negativity, it doesn't help anything. In fact, it makes pretty much everything worse. So it's always really good when you notice certain negative thoughts popping into your head to do whatever you can as quickly as possible to replace that negative thought with the positive thought, which is what I did. Uh, I again noticed the pattern, and then I stopped kind of just accepting the negativity. I just decided I didn't want to feel that way anymore. And so he still sometimes leaves his clothes on the floor, but I just decided I'm not going to be irritated about it. And so I have three ways to deal with it. I can ignore the clothes, I can ask him to pick them up, or I can pick them up. Those are pretty much all the options. And if he doesn't pick the clothes up, then I'm down to two. I can either ignore the clothes and leave them on the floor, or I can pick them up and put them in the hamper. And quite honestly, it just depends on my mood. Sometimes I will still leave the clothes on the floor. And then sometimes I will put them in the hamper if he forgets, because sometimes he does forget. Actually, sometimes I might forget too, if depending on where they are. So, it just kind of how I deal with the situation is pretty much those options. I can whatever it is, and I'm just using the clothes on the floor as an example, but I just decided that's all I'm going to make my brain focus on, whatever it is, because there's always going to be something again to be irritated about. But those are the three options: ignore it, ask your husband or wife to do something about it, or you do something about it. The other thing I realized as I got older was that we don't have a right to not be offended. I think that's kind of a society-wide issue. People are just so offended by everything and everybody. Oh my gosh, they read something over here, a word is said there, and everybody is just all up in arms all the time and just, "Wah!" The world, society in general. But I just don't like walking around feeling that negativity. It feels like a weight. It's just heavy on me, and I don't like to feel like that. I don't ignore bad things that happen in the world, but I like to focus on positive things. So that's another thing I did too, is decided to focus on positive things rather than negative things. Also, I found another an article here that just talks about, what's the title of this? 5 steps to controlling your thoughts so your thoughts don't control you. So, in case you're not biblically inclined, here's an article that you can look up. I will link it below in the description box as well. But briefly, I'm not going to read the whole article, but it just says that identify the situation which creates the negative thought. So, still, the point is you have to be conscious of the thoughts that are popping into your head and be responsible for those thoughts and how you feel about the thoughts. And then further down, it says change the thought. So again, it goes back to personal accountability. I think the quote. I know I'm going to butcher it, and I'm sorry, but I think there's a quote that says, "Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to the things that happen to you." And so in marriage, it's just important to keep the main things the main things. Things over time, they just kind of even out. As you get older, you'll be less feisty about things. When I was younger, I used to be all up in arms about stuff. And due to various reasons, fatigue, hormones, too many things, raising kids, whatever. But I guess in my older age, I've kind of mellowed out, and just realize it's not that serious, because the marriage is for a lifetime, and who wants to be miserable in marriage and just not be happy and joyful, which again is your personal responsibility. You control your feelings and emotions. They're not your spouse's job. It's not your spouse's job to make you happy. Your happiness lies within you. So that's the last thing I did out before I closed the video. I decided to take control of my feelings. If I wanted to be happy, I realized it was with me. I had given Michael, my husband, too much control mentally over how I was feeling, and I just realized that's not his job. He's his own person. I'm my own person. We created this marriage together, but we are two whole people that created this new entity. And so if I want to be happy and joyful and joy filled and bring joy to our marriage, I have to have that inside of me first. I have to develop it, and then I can share it. So that's kind of what I did. Just I made a decision to be different and do different things, control or change the negative thoughts that came into my head, make them not negative, see what I could do as soon as possible to change the thought, and then took personal responsibility for my own feelings and emotions. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Let me know in the comments what you do to help kind of break the mental ruts that you might be in, or if you noticed any patterns in your life, things that you used to do and you don't do anymore that have now helped you to be a better person in your life. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to reading your comments. Hope you have a blessed day. Bye bye for now.